Hi, welcome to the Gear Garage. My name is Zach, and this is my little show about whitewater things. And in today's episode, I want to share with you what I think is the most important skill to learn and master to have a lot of success in the Grand Canyon. That's the downstream ferry. If you can really understand why we're doing this and execute it well, you should do great in all the rapids. And before I get to that, I want to just share some background terminology. These waves are called lateral waves. And so instead of being straight downstream, they kind of come out about 40 degrees to the main current. And they kind of funnel you down to things. And when we're learning whitewater, one thing we learn is shoot the V. These laterals make a V, and you go straight down the V and it works great. The problem with the Grand Canyon and harder rivers is if you shoot the V, you might end up somewhere bad like a big rock or big holes that'll flip you. The V's don't always lead you somewhere great. The other thing we learn is to cut the C. This is a big C. So you want to stay to the inside of the turn so you can make some move. Here, we actually want to cut the C. We want to stay to the inside. The problem is these laterals kind of funnel us back to the middle. So a traditional move a lot of us do is just turn our stern to one side and pull and ferry over. But if you hit these laterals sideways, they sort of surf you back to the middle. So you keep pulling, 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 and they surf you back to the middle. Pull, pull, pull. And then they mess with your angle a little bit. Next thing you know, you're headed straight towards this thing. And so that technique doesn't really work on some of these rapids. It can work, but it's not very effective. What's really effective is to pierce through the laterals, like go through them forward or back. You can push through these laterals, but it takes exactly precise timing and you have to be just dead on to get this right. So I'm going to suggest most of us do the downstream ferry. We're stronger on a pull and we can sort of like maneuver our boat more if we need to. And what this takes is looking over your shoulder, your downstream shoulder, and piercing, like hitting these lateral waves 90 degrees to the wave, like hitting them straight on. And so when you hit the wave, kind of powering through, it's going to surf you a little bit, powering through, and usually after one or two of them, you're far enough to one side, and you can kind of just float down and sort of be done. Where people make mistakes here is they come down, they maybe start too late, and then they kind of hit the bottom of this one, and they're just not making it, and their angle gets messed up, and then they end up just being out of control. And so the key to this is position, angle, and the timing of your stroke. So you really want to enter this as high as you can. And you can see there's a little hole here. This is a poor attempt to draw what Bedrock rapid looks like. And Bedrock is causing the most problems right now. This is why I'm demonstrating it. It's also not that hard if you're at a high skill level and can do a good downstream ferry. There's a little bit of a hole here, there's a little bit of a hole here, there's some rocks in here. The key to, in my opinion, is to starting really early. And there is a hole here, there is something here, but it's not that big of a hole. This is much more chill than this or what's down here. And so I'm gonna hit the hole. I'm gonna start as early as I can. A lot of people will choose to go around this and then start downstream ferrying, but it might be too late unless you're really strong and have perfect technique. So for me, I'm gonna get a piece of this hole, understanding it could turn me a little bit, but it's probably not gonna flip me or cause me a problem. So get a piece of the hole, come through there, and I'm immediately gonna make sure my angle is correct. If I go through this and my angle, come through here, my angle's like that or like this, I'm gonna turn the boat and then keep pulling some more and kind of be done. So this is a pretty straightforward thing, but you have to have the power to pull through the things. You have to start early, and when your angle gets messed up, fix it, and then continue. So he got through slowly. Let's bring this guy through and see. Same thing, you're up here, turn your boat around, look over your shoulder, hit this stuff, and you want to pull through these waves, or these laterals. So pull through, take a little break, pull through, and you're kind of done. You can keep ferrying downstream, but at this point you're in slack water, and so your boat will kind of want to turn around and do something like that. And just one more example, same thing, coming down, turn downstream, pull through that one, fix your angle, pull through that one, and you're done successfully. This is how it looks in Bedrock on my whiteboard. Let me share some video with you from a few months ago on the river. So I'm headed in Bedrock on a downstream ferry, looking over my right shoulder. Right here, I break through that hole at the top. Didn't do much to me. And at this point, I'm pretty much done. I got out of the V. You see the V in front of me there. And now I'm pulling 90 degrees of the current just to get more to the right side. And I could have stopped rowing a little while ago and been fine. but I really wanted to catch this eddy on the right to take some photos. And next I want to talk about upset rapid a little bit, because I think the right line at upset was the most difficult move in the Grand Canyon. Just an opinion, but I felt like it was a really difficult move. And first of all, we scattered over here on the right side. I saw the line down the right, I liked it, and so I wanted to do it. And I was the only one that do it. Everybody else who'd been before, especially people who'd been before, they all knew the left side was good. They had a great time down the left side, great success. They went left, had a great time. There were a couple of weird things I couldn't quite see in my scout, like some weird holes I didn't want to mess with. I felt like this was a pretty clean line if I could make the line. And my move was to be facing downstream. I wanted to go around this rock. So as soon as I knew I was past the rock, I came up and hit this lateral. And again, I hit it at 90 degrees and I pulled through it. You really want to hit it, pierce through it, and pull yourself through the way. I pulled myself through it. Once you're through it, it could mess with your angle. And so before doing anything else, fix your angle first so you can then pierce the same one, pulled through it. And at that point, I was past the laterals, but there was a lot of current out here that was still kind of bringing me middle. And so I had to I didn't go downstream, but I kept a 90-degree angle of the current, and I just kept kind of pulling towards shore. My angle changed a little bit. I pulled towards shore until I was past that hole, turned straight, and went down past the hole. And I think the key here is if you make a mistake here and you come through here and it changes your angle, then you try to pull, you're not going to get over here. You're going to get back in this angle where your stern is pointed up towards upstream a little bit and you're fighting it. You really have to come through here and keep coming downstream until you're past the laterals. So that's upset rapid. I want to share a little bit of video of upset here to kind of demonstrate this. So here I am getting ready to do the right move at upset, and I want to break through a couple laterals at the top that are they're breaking, they're kind of holes, but if I break through them on a downstream ferry, I'm pretty much done early on. So I'm gonna power through these. I'm gonna take some strokes as I go through that one there, and I'm pretty much done out of the V. And now I'm just trying to get myself more to the right. So I'm 90 degrees of the current. I already did my downstream ferry, and now I'm more or less 90 degrees of the current, and just trying to, in the slack water, pull further right because there is a hole on the middle right of the rapid. And once I know I'm right enough, I get straight, and I can kind of push down through these little tiny waves and laterals and come out fine. So that's it for the downstream ferry and how it applies to Grand Canyon. Again, I think it's a really crucial skill that we all need to sort of understand and master for success. I saw a lot of people out on the river who couldn't do it, who tried it and didn't do well at it, who didn't try it at all, and it didn't usually end well. I feel like those people that really understood the downstream ferry had great success. And we can learn about it through videos like this, but you have to go out and practice it in the real world. And we don't all have a big volume river like the Grand Canyon in our backyard. There's not many rivers in the US that compare to it in terms of its power and its size. And so the best way I think to practice is take like a 13-foot boat on a smaller river to practice the same maneuvers. Catch eddies on a downstream ferry, break through laterals on a downstream ferry, experiment with it a bunch on your smaller boats on smaller rivers so that it can apply to bigger boats on bigger rivers. This does apply to the Grand Canyon in a big way, but also applies to a lot of the rapids on the Middle Fork of the salmon high water, the main salmon, more class 5 rapids. These downstream ferries are super important. So hopefully this helped. If you have any, a lot of you know more than I do and you're experts at all kinds of things. If you think I'm wrong, tell me in the comments. Say, nope, you're wrong. Downstream ferries suck. I want to hear it. Like some of you probably have better techniques. Like please share those with me. But if you have questions as well, like about this or that, please ask questions down in the comment section below. And yeah, that's it for this episode. See you next time. Thanks.